5 years ago, the world watched Princess Beatrice walk down the aisle in a breathtaking royal wedding that promised forever. Today, that promise lies in ruins. After exactly 5 years, Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi have decided to divorce, citing huge differences that insiders say tore them apart from the inside. The palace has stayed silent, but the couple's joint statement dropped like a bomb. What secrets finally broke their bond? Why now? This isn't just another celebrity split, it's a royal earthquake that will change the monarchy forever. Buckle up, because the truth behind their separation is darker and more devastating than anyone imagined. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. The news exploded without warning. Beatrice's phone lit up with a flood of frantic messages from friends, aides, and family, each one carrying the same devastating headline. At the same moment, Edoardo stared at the identical words on his screen, his face draining of all color as the reality slammed into him. The couple who had once seemed unbreakable sat miles apart in stunned silence, the statement they had drafted together now ripping through the world like a storm. Their last public appearance together flashed in everyone's minds, those forced smiles at a charity event, hands linked but eyes already distant, hiding the violent storm that had been raging behind closed doors for months. Inside the palace, panic spread like wildfire. Senior royals scrambled in emergency calls and hushed corridors, desperate to contain the fallout as the perfect couple image they had carefully protected for 5 years shattered overnight. The carefully curated narrative of royal stability lay in pieces, and the pressure to respond without revealing too much felt suffocating. What no one outside the family knew was how the huge differences had started, so small, tiny cracks in lifestyle, ambition, and duty that grew into insurmountable walls over time. From the very first year, royal duty had clashed head-on with Edo's burning private ambitions, pulling them in directions neither could fully escape. Beatrice felt the inner conflict tear her apart every single day. She loved her husband with a depth that once felt eternal, yet the loyalty to the crown that had raised her from birth demanded sacrifices she could no longer ask him to make. That impossible tug-of-war left her exhausted, torn between the man she had chosen and the institution that had chosen her. The fairy tale everyone had envied, the one splashed across magazines and screens, was never real. It was a beautiful illusion built on hope and denial, and now the illusion had finally collapsed. The private conversation that ended it all happened in the quiet of their home, voices low at first, then raw with pain and honesty. Tears flowed as they admitted what they had both known deep down: love alone could not bridge the divide any longer. In that moment, the marriage they had fought to save for 5 long years reached its heartbreaking conclusion. But to understand how a love story that once seemed unbreakable could crumble so completely, we must first step back to the glittering beginning, the wedding that hid the cracks already forming beneath the surface. It was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi exchanged vows in front of the world, smiling like two people who had found their forever. The dress, the venue, the romance, it all looked perfect. But behind the flowers and flashbulbs, huge differences were already pulling them in opposite directions. Insiders now reveal the early warning signs no one wanted to see. Tonight we expose how the wedding that captured hearts was actually the beginning of the end. The courtship had been a whirlwind that swept everyone off their feet. Beatrice met Edo in a world already buzzing with royal expectation, and the chemistry felt electric, two people who seemed to complete each other in ways no one had anticipated. Dates turned into private escapes, laughter turned into promises, and soon the engagement ring sparkled under palace lights. Yet even in those intoxicating early months, fundamental clashes lurked beneath the surface. Beatrice had been shaped by a lifetime inside the monarchy. Duty was in her blood. Protocol was second nature. The weight of the crown something she carried without question. Edo, for all his aristocratic roots, had tasted a different kind of freedom. He thrived in business circles where ambition moved fast and rules bent to success. That contrast was never louder than in quiet moments when they talked about the future. Private arguments flared during the engagement, sharp words exchanged in hushed rooms after long days of planning. Beatrice would gently remind him of upcoming royal commitments. Edo would push back, asking why every weekend had to revolve around ribbon cuttings and formal dinners. Those fights were always smoothed over quickly apologies, embraces, reassurances that love would find a way. But each reconciliation left a tiny scar. Royal protocol began to feel like a slow suffocation to Edo. Invitations he wanted to decline were non-negotiable. Trips he dreamed of taking were vetoed by security concerns. The freedom he craved slipped further away with every stamped schedule and every whispered reminder of what is expected. The class and lifestyle wars simmered beneath it all. Beatrice moved through aristocratic expectations as naturally as breathing titles, precedents, the unspoken rules of who sits where and who speaks first. Edo, modern and independent, chafed against the rigidity. He wanted spontaneity, late nights with friends, decisions made without consulting courtiers. Love battled fiercely against that reality. Both of them felt the pull in opposite directions, Beatrice toward the life she had always known, Edo toward one he refused to surrender completely. They told themselves the differences could be bridged, that passion would outweigh practicality. Yet insiders now point to those early months as the true origin of the end. Every compromise Beatrice made deepened her guilt. Every concession Edo offered fed his quiet resentment. The wedding itself became the most beautiful mask they ever wore, glowing smiles for the cameras, vows spoken with conviction, while beneath the surface the first major crisis was already taking root. A single disagreement over their honeymoon destination had escalated into something raw and revealing, planting the seed that would grow into divorce years later. The wedding hid the growing divide, but once the honeymoon glow faded, those huge differences exploded into open conflict, and the palace could no longer pretend everything was fine. After the cameras left and the guests went home, the real marriage began. And that's when the huge differences became impossible to ignore. Beatrice wanted the life she was born into: duty, titles, tradition. Edo wanted freedom, business success, and a world without constant scrutiny. What started as small disagreements turned into nightly battles behind palace doors. Insiders say the tension became unbearable. This is how 5 years of love quietly turned into 5 years of quiet pain. The first major fight erupted only weeks after the honeymoon ended. It started over a single royal commitment, a formal dinner Beatrice could not decline. Edo had planned a quiet weekend away, just the two of them, no titles, no protocol. When she told him it had to be postponed, his voice rose in sharp frustration. Why does everything have to revolve around the crown? Beatrice tried to explain, her tone gentle but firm. That duty was not optional, it was who she was. The argument stretched late into the night, words growing sharper, silences heavier. By morning they had apologized, but the sting lingered. That pattern repeated month after month, small sparks, turning into slow burning fires that neither could fully extinguish. Beatrice felt the heartbreak deepen with every clash. She loved Edo fiercely, yet each time she chose a royal engagement over his plans, guilt twisted inside her like a knife. She was torn between the husband who made her feel truly seen and the crown that had shaped her entire existence. The weight of family legacy pressed on her shoulders. Disappointing the institution meant disappointing her father, her grandmother's memory, the very idea of who she was born to be. Edo saw the conflict in her eyes and hated it. He wanted her to choose him fully, without reservation, but he knew asking that meant asking her to betray everything she had ever known. Secret pressures mounted on both sides. Family expectations pulled Beatrice one way, subtle reminders from senior royals about appearances, about setting an example. about never letting personal desires overshadow public role. Edo felt the opposite tug. Friends outside the palace urged him to protect his own ambitions, to build something independent, to stop shrinking his world to fit royal rules. The contrast grew unbearable. Edo's rising frustration boiled over in quiet moments, snapped comments about endless security checks, cancelled plans, the suffocating scrutiny that followed them everywhere. Beatrice's fear of disappointing her family kept her silent when she wanted to scream. Each concession she made felt like another piece of herself slipping away. Parenthood only magnified the divide. Their daughter arrived like a miracle, yet every decision about her upbringing became another battlefield. Beatrice wanted the child raised with royal traditions, quiet discipline, early awareness of duty. Edo pushed for freedom, playdates without bodyguards, a childhood that felt normal. Those conversations turned raw, voices trembling with love and exhaustion. Neither wanted to hurt the other, yet neither could surrender their vision of the future. The love that had once felt unbreakable now strained under the weight of two incompatible lives. The private battles stayed hidden for years, but one explosive argument finally forced them to face the truth and the decision that would shatter their family forever. One ordinary evening turned into the night that ended their marriage. Behind closed doors, Beatrice and Edo finally said the words they had been avoiding for years. The huge differences that had simmered for 5 years boiled over in a single raw conversation. Tears, accusations, and heartbreaking honesty filled the room. Insiders reveal exactly what was said and why there was no going back. This is the moment the fairy tale officially died. The argument began quietly, almost politely, over a seemingly small choice, another royal event Beatrice felt compelled to attend alone. Edo set his glass down harder than intended and asked the question that had haunted him for years: when do I stop coming second to the crown? Beatrice's voice trembled as she answered that duty was not something she could switch off. The room grew smaller with every word. Edo's frustration erupted first. He accused her of choosing the palace over their family, of letting tradition dictate their entire life together. Beatrice fired back, tears streaming, that she had given up pieces of herself every time she defended his need for freedom against the expectations placed on her shoulders. Accusations flew like blades. He called her trapped by a life she refused to escape. She called him selfish for demanding a normalcy the crown would never allow. The pain cut deepest when they spoke about their daughter. Edo wanted her raised with space to breathe, away from constant eyes and rigid rules. Beatrice insisted that knowing her heritage early would protect her, give her strength. Their voices cracked as they realized neither vision could coexist. Love still burned between them, fierce, aching love, but it no longer felt strong enough to hold back the tide of resentment. Edo's voice broke when he admitted he could not keep pretending the life suited him. Beatrice sobbed that she could not keep pretending it did not suit her. In that suffocating silence that followed, both understood the brutal truth. Love alone could not bridge the chasm any longer. Insiders later described notes and fragments of conversation allegedly captured that night: raw, unfiltered pain preserved in private messages, and voice memos never meant for anyone else. The words were jagged: I can't keep losing myself for you. I can't keep losing you to them. Every line carried the weight of 5 years of quiet compromise collapsing at once. Lifestyle choices, family priorities, dreams for the future all collided in a storm that left nothing untouched. Royal duty, once the quiet foundation of Beatrice's world, had become the final, unbreakable wedge driving them apart. It stood between them like an invisible wall neither could climb. Neither wanted to be the one to say the words first. Yet when Edo finally whispered, "We can't go on like this," Beatrice did not argue. She simply nodded through her tears, the admission ripping something vital from both of them. The fairy tale they had built together, the one the world had envied, died in that moment, not with anger, but with exhausted mutual heartbreak. They sat in silence afterward, hands inches apart, knowing the next steps would hurt more than anything that came before. With the decision made in that devastating night, the couple faced the hardest part, yet telling the family and the world while keeping their young daughter's world intact. When Beatrice and Edo broke the news to the royal family, the palace went into total lockdown. King Charles was reportedly devastated. William and Kate offered quiet support while trying to contain the fallout. But behind the polite statements, the huge differences that destroyed the marriage sent shockwaves through every royal corridor. This divorce wasn't just personal, it threatened the carefully polished image of the modern monarchy. 62. The family meeting unfolded in a private drawing room at Windsor, the air thick with unspoken grief. Beatrice sat beside Edo, their hands no longer touching, while Charles listened in stunned silence as his daughter delivered the words that shattered the illusion of royal stability. His face crumpled for a moment before he forced composure, the king who had seen so much heartbreak now witnessing it in his own child. William spoke next, voice low and measured, offering support while his eyes betrayed the calculation already running behind them, how to protect the institution from the fallout. Kate reached across and squeezed Beatrice's hand, a small gesture of solidarity that carried more weight than words. The room felt frozen, every breath heavy with the knowledge that this announcement would ripple far beyond these walls. Beatrice felt the secret pressures closing in like a vise. Senior advisors had already whispered that the split must remain dignified, no public blame, no messy details, nothing that could tarnish the crown's carefully curated image. She nodded through the advice, but inside guilt clawed at her relentlessly. She had failed to make the marriage work, failed to bridge the chasm that duty and freedom had carved between them. And now she feared she was failing her family by dragging their name through even this quiet scandal. Relief flickered beneath the guilt, a fragile whisper that she no longer had to pretend every day. Yet the relief only deepened her shame. She glanced at Edo and saw the same storm of emotions mirrored in his eyes, love that had once been everything now reduced to shared responsibility for their daughter. The conflict between protecting the crown and shielding their child burned hottest in that room. William asked careful questions about timelines and statements, his tone gentle but firm, every word weighed for how it might play in public. Beatrice felt the pull in opposite directions. The instinct to shield her little girl from scrutiny clashed with the unspoken demand to present a united, unbreakable front for the monarchy. Edo stayed mostly silent, but his clenched jaw spoke volumes. He wanted to protect their daughter's normalcy above all else, even if it meant stepping further away from the royal spotlight. The layered tension was palpable. Future royal events, garden parties, state dinners, Christmas at Sandringham suddenly carried new risk. Every empty chair, every careful omission would be noticed, dissected, turned into speculation that could erode public faith in the family's unity. Legal battles loomed on the horizon like gathering clouds. Custody arrangements would have to be negotiated under intense scrutiny, finances divided with precision to avoid headlines about settlements or titles. Insiders already whispered about private meetings with lawyers, documents being drawn up in secret rooms far from prying eyes. The possibility of court appearances, even sealed ones, sent fresh waves of dread through Beatrice. She pictured her daughter caught between two worlds, one steeped in tradition, the other reaching for freedom, and the thought nearly broke her again. The palace tried to keep the story contained, but the media storm was already brewing and the public reaction would hit harder than anyone expected. The moment the statement dropped, every headline screamed the same devastating words: Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi to divorce after 5 years. Paparazzi swarmed their homes. Social media exploded with heartbreak and speculation. The huge differences that ended their marriage became front-page fodder. Insiders reveal how the couple tried to shield their daughter while the world picked apart their pain. This royal split became the story no one could stop talking about. Within minutes of the joint statement hitting the wires, the timeline detonated. Phones lit up across newsrooms, alerts pinged globally, and the first paparazzi motorcycles roared toward their separate residences before the ink had even dried on the palace copy. By noon, the frenzy was unstoppable. Cameras clustered at every gate, drones hovering overhead, strangers live streaming from sidewalks as if the couple's private heartbreak belonged to everyone. Beatrice sat inside, curtains drawn, clutching her phone while messages flooded in from well-wishers and strangers alike, each one ripping open the wound she had hoped to keep closed. Edo paced another house miles away, watching the same headlines scroll past, his face tightening with every twisted angle the press added to their story. The emotional impact hit like a wave neither of them could outrun. Privacy vanished in seconds. Their daughter's name trended before they could even explain the news to her. Beatrice felt exposed in a way royal duty had never prepared her for. Every past photo, every old interview clawed back into the spotlight and dissected for clues. Edo, who had always valued his independence, now found himself the target of relentless speculation, his business life dragged into the glare as proof he had never truly belonged. The contrast tore at them both. The couple who had once shared quiet evenings now lived under 24-hour surveillance. Their pain turned into public entertainment. The press wasted no time twisting the huge differences into something salacious. Outlets spun royal duty as cold rejection and Edo's desire for freedom as selfish escape. Commentators dissected every vacation photo, every missed event, every subtle glance, turning private struggles into clickbait narratives that painted Beatrice as trapped and Edo as the restless outsider. Insiders watched in horror as the real story, two people who had loved deeply but simply wanted different futures, disappeared beneath layers of manufactured drama. The layered context was brutal. The monarchy's polished image of stability and modern romance now clashed violently with raw human reality, exposing how even the most protected royals could fracture under the same pressures that break ordinary marriages. Custody battles were already being whispered about in the shadows, ready to spill into public view. Lawyers moved silently while headlines speculated wildly about finances, titles, and living arrangements, each new rumor adding fresh pressure on two parents desperate to shield their child from the circus. The frenzy showed no signs of slowing. Yet one crucial detail remains, locked away, the single piece of information the couple still refuses to reveal, no matter how fiercely the media demands it. With the world watching their every move, Beatrice and Edo now face the final chapter, the painful road to an official end, and the uncertain future that lies beyond. The ink on the divorce papers is almost dry, but the real story is just beginning. Beatrice and Edo must now navigate co-parenting, separate lives, and the huge differences that will define their future. Will they find peace apart? Or will the scars of 5 years linger forever? The monarchy watches closely, knowing this split could reshape royal expectations for a new generation. The months ahead stretch out like an uncharted sea, full of hope and hidden storms. Beatrice wakes each morning carrying the quiet weight of a new chapter, her days still anchored by royal duties, yet now laced with a fragile sense of freedom she never expected. She throws herself into charity work with renewed purpose, her smile brighter in public but her eyes softer in private moments when no cameras watch. The relief of no longer pretending feels like fresh air after years underwater, yet guilt lingers every time she drops their daughter at Edo's door. She wonders if the crown that once defined her will now allow her to redefine herself, perhaps a bolder voice, fewer constraints, a role that finally feels like her own. Edo steps into his independence with a mix of triumph and ache. Business meetings run later, travel plans unfold without security shadows, and the freedom he craved finally arrives. But every victory carries the sharp sting of love lost. Late at night he stares at old photos, the man who once fought for a normal life now realizing that freedom tastes bittersweet when it comes at the cost of the family he built. The huge differences that once tore them apart now shape two separate futures, his filled with possibility, hers with quiet strength, yet both shadowed by the same lingering question. Could they have tried harder? Suspense hangs heavy over every decision. Some weeks they manage quiet co-parenting, polite handoffs and shared bedtime stories that keep their daughter's world steady. Other weeks tension simmers beneath the surface, missed calls, differing rules, small disagreements that threaten to spill into public view. The palace monitors every move, knowing one heated exchange could reignite headlines and force the family to confront uncomfortable truths about modern royal marriages. This split is already reshaping Beatrice's royal role in ways no one predicted. She steps forward with a new independence, her public appearances carrying a subtle defiance that signals change is coming. Major life shifts loom for both new homes, new routines, perhaps new relationships that will test old loyalties. The monarchy watches warily, aware that Beatrice's journey could rewrite expectations for the next generation of royals. Duty without sacrifice, love without surrender. Their daughter stands at the heart of it all, caught between two worlds that once felt whole. She moves between Mummy's palace routines and Daddy's freer life, her small face bright with questions neither parent can fully answer. The heartbreak of watching her navigate that divide cuts deepest, a daily reminder that even the most loving parents cannot shield their child from the consequences of grown-up choices. As Beatrice and Edo step into their new separate futures, one final question hangs over the entire royal family. What does this divorce mean for the monarchy's own future? 5 years of marriage. One devastating announcement. The huge differences that ended Beatrice and Edo's love story have now forced the entire royal family to face uncomfortable truths. This divorce isn't just about two people, it's a warning that even the most protected royals can break. Will the monarchy adapt to a more modern, fragile reality? Or will more fairy tales crumble? The decisions made in the coming months will echo for generations. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of a completely new royal era. The long-term impact settles over the family like a slow, heavy fog. Charles carries the quiet sorrow of watching his daughter rebuild from heartbreak, every public appearance now tinged with the knowledge that the perfect image he helped craft has cracks no one can fully hide. William and Kate feel the shift in their own marriage, small conversations about balance and boundaries that never happened before suddenly carry new urgency. The children grow up watching aunts and uncles navigate love and duty in real time, learning early that royal life offers no immunity from ordinary pain. Beatrice emerges steadier, her voice carrying a new authority when she speaks on mental health or family resilience. Yet the cost shows in quieter moments when her smile falters for a fraction of a second. Edo steps further into a life without titles, yet the freedom he once craved now feels shadowed by absence, the empty chair at family gatherings. The birthday messages sent instead of shared. Suspense coils around every possible future. Some paths lead to more royal divorces, younger members quietly questioning whether duty must always demand sacrifice. Others point towards stronger bonds forged through crisis, the family drawing closer in the face of vulnerability rather than retreating behind protocol. Global reaction surges and shifts like a living tide. Younger audiences cheer the honesty, seeing Beatrice's story as proof that even princesses deserve real lives. Traditionalists mourn the erosion of mystique, warning that too much openness invites collapse. Public opinion splits and reforms. Petitions circulate calling for reform while others defend the old ways. Every poll, every viral thread, every street conversation becomes a referendum on whether the monarchy can survive authenticity. At its core, this divorce serves as the monarchy's sharpest wake-up call in decades. It exposes the tension between ancient tradition and modern human needs, between the weight of legacy and the right to personal happiness. The institution that once seemed unbreakable now stands, revealed as fragile, held together, not by birthright alone, but by the daily choices of people who bleed like anyone else. The coming months will decide whether the crown bends to accommodate change or doubles down on control, whether it evolves into something resilient or fades under the pressure of its own contradictions. Whatever happens next carries irreversible weight. Every decision, every quiet gesture of reconciliation, every firm boundary drawn, every public statement crafted will tip the balance toward coexistence or toward further fracture. Love and duty have clashed before, but never with such stark clarity in the full glare of the modern world. The answer to whether they can truly live side by side will shape not just Beatrice and Edo's story, but the entire royal saga for generations yet unborn. Behind every headline, every carefully worded statement, the human cost remains the most heartbreaking truth. Beatrice will raise her daughter knowing the price of love in a gilded cage. Edo will build a new life carrying the echo of what was lost. Their child will grow up navigating two worlds, loved fiercely by both parents yet forever marked by the day the fairy tale ended. These are not distant figures in history books, they are people who dared to hope, who fought to hold on, and who finally let go when holding on hurt more. The pain they carry will outlast every headline, a silent reminder that even crowns cannot shield the heart. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in next one.